What's up guys, Cut2 here, and today in this video I'm going to do a guide explaining the best supporters in both standard and expanded format, and the most frequently used supporters in both those formats. So in this video I'm going to try to weed out, you can see the whole list of supporters. I'm going to weed out all the bad ones, all the ones that aren't used much. So I'm going to go over only really the good ones in these formats. So this guide is mostly directed towards newer players, people who are just trying to start out this game, decide what they want to put in their builds, the supporters. And I will be making more videos just like this, about the tools, the items, Pokemon decks, energies, really everything, really every aspect of this game. So I hope this guide helps you guys out with building your decks. Okay, so starting with all the standard supporters, I'm gonna go over all these listed right here. Spend a few seconds on each one. Starting alphabetical order with Bill's analysis. So this is a card where you can look at the top 7 cards of your deck and reveal any 2 trainer cards you find there. So it's basically kind of like a Jirachi, but kind of better, honestly. And boss's orders. So I mean, this is one of the best cards in standard right now. I like to call standard the boss's orders meta because literally every deck uses it. Such a powerful weapon for just targeting anything on the bench. Most decks use multiple copies of it, so really good supporter. We got Brock's Great, so this is just good for reusing Pokemon and energy again. You can shuffle 6, so just really good card. Clay, discard the top 7 cards of your deck. If any of those are item cards, put them in your hand. So this can be a good card, but you want to play this card if you like play a lot of items in your deck. If not, then it's kind of waste. Like I play this in my Durant middle deck. So Cynthia and Caitlin, this is good for first of all reusing supporters and then just getting a little bit of draw with it. So when you do this, you draw 3 cards and then also grab a supporter from the discard pile. So really good supporter. Green's Exploration. So this can only work if you have no Pokemon with abilities in place. So depending on the type of deck, you may want to think about playing this card because you can search for any 2 trainer cards, which is really good. Gooseman Hala, this is used in a lot of decks. Really good supporter, especially for ADP decks, stuff like that. You have to discard 2 cards from your hand though, and you can search for your stadium, Pokemon tool, and a special energy. Just a really strong card. Hapu, look at this top 6 cards of your deck and put any 2 in your hand. Discard the other cards. So this could be a bit risky if you're playing a deck where you don't really want to discard cards, but it can still be good in certain situations. Koga's Trapped. Personally, I've never used this, but it can be a really annoying card to play against. Your opponent's active Pokemon is confused and poisoned. So just really good if your opponent has no switches. If they do have switches, then this card is kind of a waste. But we got Malalana. This can be good for just a little bit of healing. It is kind of costly being a supporter, and you have to discard any 2 cards from your hand. But it can be useful in certain decks. Marnie. This is another deck like bosses that is just used in every deck in standard. What this does is both players shuffle their hand, and then your opponent gets 4 cards and you get 5 cards. So it's a little bit of advantage you can use against your opponent, because only drawing 4 cards is really bad. Like you could get a really bad draw out of that. So really good. It's kind of like an N. It's kind of like an N in expanded. But we got Piers. So this is good in mostly Eternus decks. I mean, you can search your deck for an energy card in a darkness Pokemon, so it could be good for getting Eternus VMAXs or Crobat. Professor's Research, again, really staple supporter in every deck. Discard your hand, draw 7 cards, really good. Don't really need to say much about it. Rosa, this can only be played if one of your opponents were knocked out, so you can search your deck for a Pokemon, a trainer, and a basic energy. So it's kind of like a Teammates in Expanded, which I'll talk about later. Roxy. So I play this card in my Mad Party deck, which I think works out really well. So discard up to 2 Pokemon that aren't GX or EX, and then draw 3 cards for each Pokemon. So basically, you can discard 2 Pokemon and then draw six cards. So I mean, really good for a Mad Party deck. Not really many other decks, but we got Skyla. So you can search your deck for a trainer card, any trainer card, and then shuffle your deck. So it is kind of costly, but it can be good if you like really need a rare candy or something like that. Then Skyla is the perfect option. Sonia, you can search your deck for any 2 basic Pokemon or 2 basic energies. So you can kind of be choosy here. It's good having options on these supporters. Team Yogran, another annoying card like Koga's Trap. You can put an energy, attach one of your opponent's Pokemon into your hand. So you basically just delay your opponent another round if they don't have any energy accelerators in their deck. Welder, you can attach up to 2 fire energy cards from your hand into one of your opponent, and you draw 3 cards. So this is good in really any fire deck. Senna Scourge, Charizard V Max, really any fire deck, you're going to want to play Welder. So that's actually it for all the supporters in Standard. Let's move on to Expanded. Okay, so now I'm going to go over all the supporters in Expanded. And remember guys, all the supporters I just mentioned in Standard can be played in the Expanded format. So you have a lot of options to choose from in Expanded, but it does not work the other way. So these supporters I'm about to mention cannot be used in Standard. So starting alphabetically again, you got AZ. This is kind of like a scoop up net, but it can be any Pokemon. So you have to discard all cards attached to it though. So it is kind of, it can work really good in certain decks. But Bridget, you can search your deck for 1 basic Pokemon EX. You won't really do that, but this is mostly used for just searching for 3 basic Pokemon that aren't EXs. So you can search for 3 basic Vs, GXs. Really good. A lot of these supporters in Expanded have a lot of cheat codes because they don't mention, of course, Vs and GXs like that because they're made after these supporters were produced. So that's why a lot of supporters are banned eventually in here because they become too OP. Chorus, shuffle your deck into your hand and then draw a number of cards equal to your opponent's bench Pokemon and your bench Pokemon. So you can draw up to 10. That's not including if you're playing like a Skyfield. So if you're playing like a Skyfield deck, then you definitely want to play this at least 1 copy of Chorus. Faba, choose a Pokemon tool or you can discard a Pokemon tool or special energy attaching one of your opponent's Pokemon or Stadium, and then it's in the lost zone, which cannot be recovered. So mostly it's going to be used for special energy. This is kind of a card just for annoying your Pokemon and delaying them. We got Gladian, so this is good if you play like a lot of important cards in your deck and you just need something to win the game. So Gladian's got your back. You can search your prize cards and then look at one of them and then take them and then replace them. So this is also good. It's kind of like a town map too. You just look at all of your prize cards, so and your opponent won't see them. So Guzma, this is kind of like the bosses, kind of like a Lysander, but you can switch your opponent's bench Pokemon and then you switch one of yours. So this is good for decks where you can't really retreat. Maybe you have like a really high retreat cost or something, or don't play any floats or stuff. So this is good in certain situations, of course. But we got a Judge, so kind of like a Marnie, kind of like an N, but each player shuffles their hand and it gets 4 cards. So it's a bit riskier for you and your opponent. We got Karen, so this is only a promo. You can't find it in any sets, but this is really just good for Mad Party decks, stuff that have a lot of Pokemon in their discards. So each player shuffles all Pokemon from the discard pile into their deck. So I guess it could be good if it could be used on yourself actually if you like discard a lot of Pokemon for some reason, want to get them back out onto your deck. So Kawaii, I don't even know that's Kiwi, I don't even know, bro. But search your deck for up to 4 fire energies, attach them one of your Pokemon, and then your turn ends. So this is a bit risky card because you kind of skip out at attacking, but if you just have like something in your active and that you don't really care about, and then you just gear up one of your bench Pokemon, this could be really good early on in the game, of course. Mars, you draw 2 cards and then discard a random card from your opponent's hand. Another really annoying card to deal with. And we got N, so this is basically like a Marnie, but it depends on your prize card numbers. So this could be good in certain situations when your opponent has like one or two left. This can really screw over your opponent, for sure. Ninja Boy, this is a bit interesting card. Not used in a lot of decks, but some decks need this, maybe like a Ho-Oh Moltres Articuno Zapdos deck, something like that. But you choose one of your basic Pokemon and then switch them out with something in your deck, and then every energy, every tool, everything on that Pokemon stays there. So we got Pokemon Ranger now. This is basically only used against ADP and expanded. You can't use this in standard, but against ADP decks, this is really the only use for this card. It prevents the alter creation GX effect. So then we got Steven's Resolve. So search your deck for any 3 cards and then put your hand, shuffle your deck, your turn ends. So a bit risky, but you can get any 3 cards, which is insanely good. Then we get Team Flare Grunt. This is another annoying card, just for discarding an energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. It has to be the active, so it's kind of like a hammer, but it's guaranteed. It does cost a supporter though. What would I just do? Okay. Then we got Team Skull Grunt. Again, really the same thing, but you can discard 2 energy cards from your hand, and you can also look at your hand though. But it can be risky though. If they don't have any energies, you kind of just only see their hand. Then we got Teammates. So this is actually the last supporter. You can only play this if one of your Pokemon were knocked out. So kind of like a Rosa from standard. And then you search for your deck for any 2 cards and then put your hand. So really good. This is good for like, you know, low prize card Pokemon, low HP Pokemon that just get knocked out all the time. You can keep constantly Teammates. So really good. And yeah, those were all the supporters from the expanded format. Okay, so that's gonna wrap up every useful supporter from both standard and expanded. I really hope this guide helped you guys out. I will be posting more of these soon. But if you guys did enjoy the video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and that's it guys. Alright, peace out.